What if I told you that most battles are decided long before the first shot is fired? What if the difference between victory and defeat has nothing to do with strength, intelligence, talent, money, or even numbers? History is filled with armies that should have won, but didn't. Powerful kingdoms collapsed, massive corporations disappeared. Talented individuals failed, not because they lacked resources, but because they lost a battle they never knew they were fighting. A battle inside the mind. Napoleon Bonaparte understood this better than almost anyone in history. He once said, "The moral is to the physical as 3 is to 1." In other words, psychology is more powerful than force. Belief is more powerful than weapons. Confidence is more powerful than numbers. Tonight, we explore one of the most powerful strategies from Robert Greene's The 33 Strategies of War. A strategy used by conquerors, kings, CEOs, and elite performers. A strategy capable of transforming how you compete in business and how you build your future. Europe. Early 19th century. The continent trembled under constant warfare. Kings feared revolution. Nations feared invasion. And one man seemed unstoppable, Napoleon Bonaparte. But here is what most people misunderstand. Napoleon's greatest weapon was not his artillery. It was not his cavalry. It was not even his military genius. It was his understanding of psychology. Before every campaign, Napoleon carefully crafted an image of inevitability, an image of invincibility, an image that spread fear throughout Europe. His enemies often lost confidence before the battle began. Rumors spread, legends grew, entire armies began doubting themselves, and doubt is often the first step toward defeat. At the Battle of Austerlitz in 1805, Napoleon used this principle brilliantly. Facing a larger coalition, he deliberately appeared weak. He allowed his opponents to believe he was vulnerable. His enemies became overconfident. They abandoned strong positions. They pursued what looked like an easy victory. Then came the trap. At precisely the right moment, Napoleon unleashed a devastating counterattack. The coalition forces collapsed. One of the greatest victories in history was secured, not merely through force, but through psychological manipulation. The enemy had been defeated mentally before being defeated physically. Control the mind, and the body will follow. Most people spend their lives fighting visible battles. They focus on skills, tools, resources. But the greatest strategists focus on something else, the invisible battlefield. Robert Greene explains that every conflict contains 2 wars, the external war and the psychological war. Perception shapes reality. Confidence spreads, fear spreads, belief spreads. Winning often begins by shaping what others think is possible. The strongest competitor is not always the winner. The most psychologically prepared competitor often is. The battlefield has changed. Today, wars are fought inside markets, boardrooms, and careers. Consider Steve Jobs. Apple did not simply sell technology. It sold a vision, a perception, a movement. People felt part of something larger. That psychological advantage became a competitive advantage because people do not respond solely to facts. They respond to meaning. Or consider Elon Musk. Long before rockets landed successfully, he convinced people that impossible things could become possible. That belief attracted talent, investment, momentum, and momentum itself became a strategic weapon. The leader who inspires belief multiplies effectiveness. The professional who projects certainty creates opportunities. Imagine applying this for 10 years. Not manipulation, but psychological mastery. Every morning you strengthen your confidence. You control your emotional reactions. You stop broadcasting doubt. Year after year. While others panic, you remain composed. While others focus on obstacles, you focus on possibilities. The compounding effect becomes extraordinary. Greatness is psychological before it is visible. The winners you admire today were once unknown. What separated them was not certainty of success. It was certainty of purpose. Success starts within. Every strategy has an enemy, and this strategy's greatest enemy is self-defeat. Most people lose the psychological war against themselves. Before competitors attack, fear attacks. Before critics attack, doubt attacks. Before obstacles appear, they imagine failure. They become their own worst enemy. They magnify problems and surrender mentally. The tragedy is that many people never discover what they were capable of becoming, not because they lacked talent, but because they lacked belief. Victories begin as acts of faith. Create a victory journal. Every day record one win, one lesson, one improvement. Train your mind to recognize progress instead of focusing on what's missing. Conduct a fear audit. Write down your biggest goal. Identify the worst, most likely, and best case scenarios. You will often discover your fears are exaggerated. Knowledge kills fear. Control your information environment. Reduce negativity. Increase strategic thinking. Feed your mind like an elite athlete feeds their body. High-quality input leads to high-quality output. Napoleon understood a truth that still governs the world. Battles are not won solely by strength. They are won by conviction. Every day, invisible wars are being fought. The question is not whether you are at war. You already are. The question is this: who controls your mind? Fear, doubt, circumstances, or you? Because the future belongs to those who win the battle before the battle. Every great victory begins with a decision to conquer the battlefield within. Conquer the mind. Conquer the world. Episode 2 complete next, the Death Ground Strategy.